So like a lot of times we'll come in and they're like, they hired their uncles. They looked at a bunch of YouTube
Yeah.
videos and like you get in there and you're like, what
Mhm.
the hell is going on? But what's going on inside here? And then we have to do a lot of cleanup. And like the drawback is like there's a lot of infrastructure that goes in, but also there's like a honeymoon period that like that first 90 days where you're training the algorithm. So if you do that wrong, you kind of set yourself behind. And then to catch up, it requires additional investment.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Right Media Group Chronicles, where we talk with leaders who are reshaping marketing and growth. Today's guest is Will Haire, co-founder of Bellavix, a marketplace management agency that helps brands scale profitably on Amazon and Walmart through advertising optimization and strategy. Today, we'll dig into how brands can dominate on these platforms, the future of marketplace growth, and how AI is changing the game. Will, great to have you on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and cover all those topics. And thanks for the great introduction. You're one of the nicer people. Some people get pretty crazy with their intros.
So, in regarding to Bellavix, would you mind to dive into what a typical day looks like for you as a CEO?
Yeah, definitely. So as a CEO, it's a lot of coaching, to be honest with you. I have my directors that I work directly with that are in charge of the different departments. So they come with challenges that they may need some insights on, and my job is to help them come to the solution on their own terms and kind of coach them through that. And then outside of that, I do a lot of sales and marketing. So I get to jump on podcasts and have great conversations with people like yourself. So a typical day, it really varies. It depends what fires we're trying to put out and what opportunities we're trying to learn from.
So, what exactly does Bellavix offer to their clients? What sort of services?
Yeah, so we're an end-to-end service provider, and we primarily help brands scale on marketplaces, mainly Amazon, Walmart, and a little bit of Target. Those are kind of our trifecta, our areas. And if you think about it, we handle everything from operations. So listings are up, compliant, the account health is in good shape. We handle the marketing, the SEO. Are we participating in promotions? Is the brand consistent from marketplace to marketplace? And then are we leveraging the right keywords and even now like the right framing around AI to make sure we're indexing for both Rufus or Sparky or whatever the heck next AI solution they're coming up with. They're all named after dogs, which is really interesting. And then advertising, putting fuel on the fire. So your pay-per-click, your programmatic, your streaming TV. And we mainly work with brands, e-commerce brands. So they're either mission driven or they're profit driven, most people. So there's usually something to do and it's usually fun to work with.
So, you have been in e-commerce for over a decade now. What major changes have you seen on Amazon and Walmart over that time? Because I'm sure it's drastically changed from what it was 10 years ago.
Amen to that. Yeah, nothing gold can stay, right? That's kind of the name of the game. When I first started, it was really basic. So like, when I first started, there weren't even like the pretty graphs with PPC. You had to manually pull data into spreadsheets and like create the visuals and present that to the clients you work with. And now it's like, man, the features and functionality from an operations and advertising. So what Amazon and Walmart has done over time is just become more transparent in the data. They've given us more tools to reach customers at different stages of the journey. And it's like gone are the days where you could just list the product in a super niche and just make a bunch of money. So it's just more competitive. So you need to have good branding. You need to stand for something, competing on prices. It works for certain types of sellers, but generally most of the brands we work with, it's a race to the bottom. So we're competing on unique selling propositions and how we're presenting and positioning those in the market.
Yeah, I mean, e-commerce is such a huge niche. Is there like a smaller segment that you prefer to serve because let's say you achieve better results for them? Or is it just general e-commerce?
Well, we have categories we have a lot of experience in, like supplements and beauty. We just get a ton of work in those areas. We work really well with doctor formulated or founded brands in the supplement or the pet supplement category. But in general, if I'm describing my ideal customer profile, It's a mission-driven brand. They're doing anywhere from $2 to $15 million in general e-commerce, not necessarily on Amazon. And the reason that is like they're large enough where they have maybe a marketing manager or a marketing team, but that team is usually managing maybe retail. They're managing all the marketplaces. They're focused on the website. And so we act as a fractional team to be able to, manage their marketplaces and report to them and, help them scale and strategize and like provide reporting to their board of directors or the CEO or whoever the stakeholders are in the business.
So it sounds like to me, from what you've explained, is you want somebody who's survived in the business and is making some sort of revenue, but then you come into the business and you help them grow and scale. Let's say maybe they're at the stagnant point that they're not sure what is the next approach they're going to have. And I guess Amazon Marketplace is the next step you help them to take.
Exactly. Yep. A lot of times they might be operating on them, but the sales plateau is all the time. It's like, we don't know why we're not growing. And a lot of times it's like, you're not building audiences. We're not doing other marketing activities, and we're the redheaded stepchild they stick in the basement. So we don't get any attention or resources. And then they'll end up being surprised in the long run of like, wow, you can make a lot of money on Amazon. It's like, yeah, there's lots of people shopping on Amazon. And that's usually with like my manufacturers or brands that are like killing it in retail and they're like they understand the value of e-commerce but they don't understand like the impact it could have on your business in terms of revenue.
So would you say in your specific business, you often come to having to educate your clients of really the benefits of having um what you can do for them?
Yeah, I think education's part of our job. Yeah, I mean, full time pretty much. So whether they are aware of what the opportunity is and they don't understand the bottlenecks, or they're like, I know I need to be on Amazon, I don't know why. And then it's the education of like what that market opportunity is, but also timelines and expectations. That's like a big thing between like a good agency and a great agency is the ability to like manage expectations and help them understand like this doesn't happen overnight. It's more of a marathon than a race. So like, having proper foundations and like putting in that work now will lead to like a greater return in the long run.
Just to make sure I understand the model properly, do you do paid advertising as well, obviously leading to that Amazon marketplace?
Now that we mainly do it on Amazon, so Amazon or Walmart or even Target, they have their own pay per click, they have their own display, and then we have our
I didn't
ability.
know that. Sorry.
Oh, it's built out. We have programmatic advertising. So, like, I'm an advertiser, so we get in the weeds. But essentially, if you viewed a product, if you're in market, if you're a specific demographic, Amazon and Walmart has that data. And if you're in Walmart, we have the data of like your retail habits in stores. And so we have the ability to build audiences. So like, you're looking for a in-home gym product. You want to get some bands. I'll know that you're searching for bands. I could put you in a funnel. If you looked at my product but didn't make a purchase, I could follow you on and off of Amazon with display ads. I could do video ads on your connected TV devices. So I can work the full funnel to bring you in as a purchase. And then, less for bands, but for like consumable items, I could build lifetime value by getting you into a subscription model. So like for a lot of our consumable products, we're trying to get them to sign up for subscribe and save because especially for beauty and supplements, it could cost me, the cost of the product to get the first purchase. But if I know 3, 4, 5 purchases typically follow, and a subscribe and save our subscription model, they'll stick with us for at least a year. That data allows me to spend more to acquire that first sale versus, just being bottom line driven.
Wow, yeah, data is so important, right? To make sure you're tracking everything. And same for yourself and your own agents. I'm sure there's metrics you're tracking. Because I mean I speak to some agencies and unfortunately you ask certain questions, they're like, yeah, I don't track that. And I'm like, how can you grow if you're not tracking your metrics? If you're not improving on them, right?
Amen to that. The where the devil's in the details, and that's all the data. We have our KPIs for our
Yeah.
clients, and then we have KPIs for us as a business, of course, to know like, where are we moving towards. And we've implemented a lot from the EOS system and Gino Wickman's traction. So we've kind of molded the two to come up with like our systems that work best for us from like a sales, operations, and marketing standpoint.
So obviously this model from what I hear works great for consumers that are on the Amazon website. What about the consumers that are not on the website? What about like Google paid ads and Facebook ads? Is that also utilized and kind of integrated to drive that traffic to Amazon per se?
It is for some brands. To be honest with you, we're really great at operating on the platform. So like we've dabbled in some Google ads, we've done some social, but the reality is like we're not as good at it as some other agencies. So usually for smaller brands, we may act as the band-aid because we want to support them any way we can, especially in like a super competitive category where, their unique selling proposition might be weak. We may drive them to Amazon, but a lot of the times it's like they're taking 30% off the top. So it's like drive it to Amazon or drive it to your website. So usually if they have a website, we'll recommend driving it there and understanding that any advertising or marketing activities spill over. People will check your reviews on Amazon. We're in an omni-channel world. You're going to buy and shop where you choose
Yeah.
to buy and shop. That's just the reality of how we're living.
From your experience, where do you think most brands go wrong when they try to scale on marketplaces?
Oh man, there's a lot. They try to do exactly what they do on their website in terms of like SEO and stuff. It works different. You got to think like when they're on Amazon, if it's not a item that's over $100, they may be researching on the platform. So like you're going to want your content to speak to those types of queries, whether it's like what's the best supplement for pain management or whatever else. And, while it's showing products, not results, your images and the story you tell on the product detail page can educate them on how you use this supplement to manage pain or the unique selling proposition around the ingredients or like whatever's in the secret sauce that's working for that brand. The other thing is it's generally neglected. So like a lot of times we'll come in and they're like they hired their uncle's son to do it, and they're like they looked at a bunch of YouTube
Yeah.
videos, and like you get in there and you're like, "What the hell is going on?" Part of my French. But what's going on inside here? And then we have to do a lot of cleanup. And like the drawback is like there's a lot of infrastructure that goes in, but also there's like a honeymoon period that like that first 90 days where you're training the algorithm. So if you do that wrong, you kind of set yourself behind, and then to catch up, it requires additional investment. And a lot of the brands that hired their uncle's kid to go do it, they don't have a lot of discretionary funds to invest in this. And so it becomes challenging to educate them, work it back. I mean, in some cases, we've scrapped the entire listing and started all over just to get it done the right way and have a shorter path to profitability.
That's an interesting perspective you just mentioned. I've never heard of a honeymoon period in Amazon Marketplace. So that's a different perspective. I love that. You're in a great market, Bill, because digital products, e-commerce, it's becoming more and more traffic driven, isn't it? Every single day, people want to order to their homes. They don't want to go out as much. It's the same with like online shopping. You're in a great market. So, in regarding to Bellawix right now, what would you say is working really well?
What works really well for us as somebody on the sales and marketing team, giving away the solutions and selling the implementation. So like even with the change of AI, like my blog and our newsletter and our LinkedIn content drives my business. We get a ton of leads a day. We turn away a lot of work, and a lot of it is because we've focused a lot on educating our clients, like step by step screenshots, and we've worked in the space long enough that like I know the problems that my companies are having. It's like it falls in the five buckets. So like I have tons of solutions around that. So I know somebody will engage my blog 3 or 4 times and they'll submit a form most likely. And it's because we've been doing it for years. We're talking like over 600 pieces of content. We now have a podcast, so we do a lot of that education. And I'm sure there's definitely ways I could be monetizing it better, but I don't remember who taught it to me, but it's like give away all the secrets and sell the implementation. And that's work really
Yeah.
well. And
Wow.
just
Who do you usually interview on your podcast?
Usually software providers or service providers, like the whole thing is geared around like how can you level up your marketplace game or e-commerce in general. So I'll talk to ads people giving away tactics, and I talk to a lot of operators. I do get some CEOs on, but the goal of selling on giants, which is the podcast, is like you leave with 2 or 3 actionable items you can apply to your e-commerce strategy right after the podcast. And so that's how we do everything. Everything is like, how can I help sellers sell more, whether they work with me or they don't? And that's always worked. And now we're getting indexed a ton by AI. So we're in the non-clickable economy now. And at first I was really stressed, like, holy crap, traffic's down, but my leads aren't down. And more people are like, you're never going to believe how I found you. And I'm like, surprise me. And they're like, Gemini, ChatGPT, this and that. And I'm like, man,
Wow.
whatever's working, it's working.
Your
So
SEO's on point then.
I guess it's just content, man. I had a sales consultant when we first started, and she was looking at what we're doing, and she's like, "You're a media company," is how she prefaced it, and that's something that resonated with me. So I treat our marketing and sales like we're a media company. Just crank out a ton of content and try to add value.
I think what you're saying here is very valuable. It's important to put content out that's, like you said, even for the clients you serve, the consumer will want to know everything about you and your business. And the more they can connect and resonate, the more of a chance they'll become your client or purchase
Yeah.
anything from you.
And you got to think too, when I have those sales calls, it's like, dude, they consume some content. They saw me on the pod. I've had people like, I listened to your DSP strategy on the podcast, and man, I need that. And it's like, well, let's find out if you need it. Let's have a conversation.
Mhm.
So because it's the sales is done by me, the owner operator, I can be very consultative, and that's an advantage. I know as we get larger, we're looking at like BDRs and stuff, and we'll have to change how we do sales. But for the moment, it's what's been driving the boat, and it's worked really well for us.
So, would you have any tips for agency owners in regarding to content? What exactly should they put out there?
Yeah, interview your
What's
clients.
worked
So
for you?
yeah, so at first we did what everybody else does. I've used like Href, SEM Rush, and I've looked at our top competitors, and I'm like, what are they writing about? What drives the most traffic? And we copied their content. But I think everybody does that to get started.
So you get a feel for things, right?
Exactly, exactly. So you got to get that feel, but once you kind of know resonates, what's worked really well is we interview our client-facing team. So I'll interview the directors once every other month, and I'll interview the specialists, and I'll be like, "Hey, what piece of content would help you educate your clients better? Or like what piece of content would help them solve a specific problem that they're trying to solve?" With the goal of like, instead of having to write the same thing over and over again, it's like, hey, check out this piece of content. This is how we solve it, or like whatever that's going to be helpful. And so we ended up building, and because of that, we've gotten more granular with our content. So like the content I write doesn't have high search volume. I can't even find half of it on any of these tools. However, when I go to Google and I get my results from the search console every month, it's like those really topics is what gets the most traffic. It may get 100 hits in a month, but it's like 100 hits of my customers who are searching for
Mhm.
the solution. So it's just worked out really well.
Are those in a form of short videos?
No, I don't think I'm going to be doing videos like that. I took notes from Alex Hermosi, and I got to the point where I was cranking out 70 videos a week, and I saw no
Wow.
impact on my bottom line. Yeah, I did it for about a year. It sucked. Video content, like I don't envy news reporters reading from a teleprompter, and like the hours that goes into creating video. The juice was not worth the squeeze. For me, it's guest on podcasts, controlling my podcast, which is limited, creating content and a little advertising off of the platform, for the company is what drives the boat.
But let's be honest, I mean, do you utilize the full podcast episode into like short little clips?
Yeah, we'll cut it up. It's mainly for the guests, so they have some marketing material because, like, I'm trying to tap into their audiences because they're all complementary businesses. So, of course, we share it on our profile, but like, doesn't get as much engagement. So it's just exposure over time and trying to find the right guests. Like now we're looking like if you don't have over 10,000 followers on LinkedIn, you're probably not going to be a good guest for the podcast. And so like we're trying to be strategic on like who we invite on because like they need to add value. That's number one. But B, I can't interview these small businesses that don't have that type of reach that we're looking for.
So yeah, I mean, you even mentioned that sometimes you're in a position to turn clients away.
Yeah, I turn away a ton of work. We're at capacity now, so I'm in the currently blessed to be in the position where we're looking for better ideal client profile, like better customers who meet what we're
Mm.
looking for, and then we'll be replacing older clients while I try to get a grasp on how to recruit faster. That's kind of the challenge I'm trying to tackle now.
Oh yeah, that's a challenge in its own way. Talent acquisition and obviously keeping it in your workplace as well. It's definitely a topic that keeps coming up again and again. So I mean, I think you kind of answered my next question. We touched point on what's going well in Belovix right now. What about the challenging parts of running an agency?
Yeah, I mean, geez, it's a lot that goes into running an agency, to be real with you. It's like some of the stuff before.
You gotta wear many hats for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's like I have an HR person, yet I still have to do HR stuff. I have a finance person, I still got to do finance
Mm.
stuff. It's like I like the analogy of like I'm on the bottom of I'm in the valley of the mountain, and my job as the CEO is to just push everybody up the mountain and make sure that they succeed within the team. And like what that responsibility comes with, it's like I deal with all the crap that rolls down that nobody wants to deal with, but like it's my job
Boys.
and I
You know,
deal
I
with
love
it.
that analogy. I think it's great.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
In the beginning, I guess everyone's delivering for their own agency. You're now at the point of standing behind them and pushing them towards succession, right? And picking up the mess afterwards as well. What is the next stage for you and for your agency?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Continue scaling. Sales isn't everything. So, like, while we're not taking on as much business, we are focusing on improving our current services. So, like, we're looking at improving our reporting. Should we continue using the same software or new software? Checking what software we're getting charged for that we don't use, because you can, like, the nickels and dimes add up over time. But I think next for us is I forgot the name of the guy. I'm strongly considering mergers and acquisitions. So like where I would like to be in maybe 2026 or the end of more towards 2027, it's like instead of hiring somebody or trying to do it from the ground up, I'd like to find an agency doing like half a million to $750,000 a year that's in the PR game or the influencer space, and they just don't want to do the crap that a CEO needs to do, and they'd be interested in some type of acquisition. So we're not actively
Mhm.
pursuing that, but I've been researching on what that looks like. I'm also a big fan of Cody Sanchez, so like I've been consuming some of her media, and I think like logically because it's complementary to what we do, and I have like a fundamental understanding of like how it works, but I don't know how the sausage is made technically. So like that I think is what we're kind of grinding towards over the next year or two.
I see. So that's kind of the next 2026 goal to possibly be looking into more.
Yeah, exactly. How could I expand the services? How could I keep more within Bellavix? So like for example, when somebody needs affiliate marketing, I send them somewhere. Why wouldn't I just have my own? Yeah, commission's nice. I don't have many headaches, but like you know, I don't want the crumbs, I want the whole thing. So like that's kind of what eventually is going to lead
Yeah.
me to build it out.
Obviously, it's quite important for you right now to improve those internal processes. And what would you say if you didn't improve them internal processes, where would you be then? Would it stop you from scaling?
Yeah, definitely. Without good processes, your clients are going to leave you. I put directors who weren't ready to be directors in the space, and our attrition rate's around 36 months. We are blessed that we're pretty good at our job, at
Wow.
least from an attrition standpoint. But like a little while ago, I promoted somebody into the wrong seat, and because they were a great manager but not a great director, it just affected delivery. It affected the team. It affected everything. And then our clients got that. And man, it was fast. It's fast how quickly it could slip away if you're not constantly on top of it. That was a lesson that we learned. And so process is everything. Everything needs to be processed. There's nuances in the process where like an ad manager or an ad specialist knows what they can and can't do, and they have autonomy within their role. But at the end of the day, we do calls this way, we deliver data this way, we report this way, and there's room for creativity improvement, but like there are consistencies with working with anyone at Bellavix, any team, and that's like something that just took time to understand and kind of get there.
Yeah, I just came off a conversation with another guest, and she definitely advised you need to have SOPs for everything, especially if you're bringing in new people. You just need to have a set standard in place that people have to follow. And like you say, you can be creative and deviate from it a little bit, but you still have that set process in place as a basic.
Exactly.
In regards to AI, then, are you currently implementing it in your business? Is there anything that you're excited to automate or any workflows for your processes?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to use AI wherever we can, whether it's for client delivery, for what we do. Right now, for me personally, I use it a lot to like track conversations and like make sure I articulate myself well. I have so the podcast, I interview people, but on every Tuesday, I do a weekly news update. And it's like e-commerce changes all the time. So I have a ton of information, but like that's not actually me. AI develops a script. I use Descript. It has the sound of my voice. Yeah, my family knows it's like that's not you, but other people don't know it's me. It's not me. It's me and it's
Oh,
not.
is it like, to clarify, is it like you on a video, like reading a script, but it's not you, it's an AI?
Yeah, so not even on video, it's just straight audio. But yeah, it's AI. It's just reading the script in my voice. It had me record a bunch of sentences, and it's like that's how. So like for years I've been doing the weekly news update, and it's always like how can I get that in front of as many people as possible. So in the past, if I had to record it myself, it just takes too much time. So now I have this AI trained up. It spits out the script in my tone of voice. It records it, and at this point, like I barely do any editing, but I still screen it, and then we upload it every Tuesday at 7 a.m. So it's there for the world to listen to. But that, what would take me a full day takes me an hour or less at the end of the day. It's not even, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely taking advantage of the AI boom and
I'm
utilizing the
trying.
tools that are out there. Let's be honest, it saves you a lot of hours a week doing
Yeah,
this manually, right? And then
exactly.
the hassle of doing it, you're not happy with how it turned out.
Exactly. And also like my listeners, my people, do they like reading blogs? Do they like video? Do they like audio? So it's important to just be wherever they're have the media in whatever format they want to consume it.
What about like client reporting? Do you use any sort of automation there?
Yeah, yeah. It's all through third party software. So like we haven't built that anything, but like James from the Merchant Spring team. We use his software. We just signed an agreement. We're moving forward Carbon 6 for some back end stuff. We use AdLab, Stephen Noak's software for
Yeah, I've heard of that
advertising,
one.
and a lot of these have AI elements built in, but I think everybody in the community, and I'm sure you see it in your world, is like we're all trying to figure out where it makes sense and where it doesn't, because like AI is effective, but like
Mhm.
there's such thing as AI overload. I went on Pinterest recently just to look at some stuff for Halloween because it's I got kids, it's fun, and like AI took it over. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Excuse me, what the heck's going on here? It's just changed so much, and it's like AI is recommending this, and now it's trying to sell me stuff, and I'm like, I just want to go look at boards, not AI created content. So it's taken a little bit of the soul away. But this is an example of a little too much
Yeah,
AI.
you're right. You're right. There's two kind of sides to the stories. There's the good where you can save time, but then there's the overuse of it in content specifically. And it's just like you say, it's all these videos on social media. I keep saying, and I'm like, it's like made with AI. And yeah, in a few years' time, it will be very interesting what we'll be seeing on social media and everywhere. As a matter of fact.
I'm scared, but I'm excited in the same way. So we'll see what the future holds.
So if you had the opportunity to automate one time-consuming task in your business using AI, is there anything specific that you would automate?
Yeah, so I'm actually trying to figure this out now. It's just like how to syndicate content better, more efficiently. So I'm meeting with somebody this week, but they're telling me about N8N and like hooking into your
Oh,
terminal
yes.
and like a bunch of this stuff. So I don't know what that means, but I'm trying to automate more workflows and help with that. So, it's a little gray right now, but part of it too is just being in good networks. This guy is part of a digital marketing agency group I'm a part of. he shared a bunch of stuff. I could tell he was super excited. And then I was like, dude, what is this? Can you help me figure it out? I'll pay you whatever. And he's like, you don't have to
Yeah.
pay me. Schedule an hour. I'll school you because he's a dev guy. I'm still a marketing guy. I don't know how to code or anything like that. So it's good to just have people in your network who are open to sharing and kind of helping you along the
Absolutely.
way.
I mean, NA10 is kind of the more kind there's a little bit of coding in there. That's something we specifically use in our agency as well. But another one which is a little bit simpler is also make.com. If you're interested in looking into that, you can create all sort of workflows from there. But yeah, we do prefer NA10 just because you can do more crazier stuff.
I like that. What's the craziest thing you've done so far? Because I'm interested in like what the capabilities are.
You know what? The capability depends on exactly like your business. Everyone's going to be different. It's like you need to really go into a business and like know the ins and outs. And then you're like, yeah, you can automate A, B, and C, right?
Mm.
Because the amount of things you can do is actually crazy. I can't even cover it in this conversation. There's like, it can look at your emails. That can be a trigger word where it's going to pick specific emails out and then it's going to go to a workflow, let's say like onboarding, right? And then it can automate that whole process for your client. So it's incredible, let me tell you. So hopefully you hear more from your dev guy. I'm not a technical person, that's my business partner, Chris.
Me neither. I feel you.
So Belovix, next 12 months. So obviously we touch point on you potentially being interested in that PR sort of agency connection there. Anything else you're looking forward to?
Nothing that comes to mind. I got annual planning in December, so I'm sure myself and my co-founder will put something together. But yeah, I mean, continue to grow smartly. We could grow super fast, but it just means we're gonna break stuff. At least 20% year over year growth is what we're targeting. Staying profitable in these uncertain times is something that we're really focused on. So making sure we're hiring at the right
Yeah.
time. Man, that's pretty much the big stuff. I'm sure there'll be something here in the next few months that'll require my attention and everything else. But as of now, the big thing is like, how do we continue to deliver world class service, and what does it look like to get, you know, to scale to an 8-figure agency? I mean, that's the goal.
Yeah, it's been great to having you on this podcast, Will, and pickling your brain. If people were interested to find out more about your services or connect with you, where should they look?
Yeah, so definitely check out the website, bellavix.com. You can check me out on LinkedIn, Will Hair, like on your head with an E. I put out content every day, and you can DM me there. My VAs monitor that, and they can put us in touch.
Yeah. Thank you very much for this conversation, Will. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.